Welcome back to Anthem. The devs did a live stream yesterday where they spoke about the update that's coming up. They said hopefully on March the 12th, but they wasn't 100%. They said if not, it will be close to that time. So we're just going to go through the notes I took from the live stream. There's quite a lot of them because this update is going to be pretty big. The first thing is, on the left hand side of the screen, if you was in a party right now, I'm in solo, you will see hold Y to start expedition. It's like a fast travel thing to the expedition screen. That is coming into the game for solo players. So as you spawn in, you're in the enclave like I am now. Even if you're by yourself, you will have hold Y to start expedition, just to make things faster. As a lot of people have been complaining about it, I know exactly how frustrating it is too. Next up, they finally figured out how to remove the white and green drops, so those will no longer exist after the patch. They've updated the speed the Colossus actually recovers when you hard land or when you hit a wall or something. So those of you that play Colossus, you might have noticed, say you're flying and you just nosedive and you just straight up hit the floor, it takes a couple of seconds to get your guns and stuff back out. They've done some work with it and they've made it a little bit quicker. A lot of the respawn restricted areas are actually being removed from the game because so many people are complaining that they're in a mission and people don't know they've gone down. Even though it's on the left hand side of your screen, people just aren't being rezzed. So what they've done is they've removed respawn restricted areas. If you're in a stronghold and you go down, after 30 seconds, like you have a timer on your screen, and after 30 seconds you can just respawn, and then different activities will have different timers. And I think that's pretty good, because if you go down in a stronghold and your team can't get you up but they can survive, then they can stay there, you can respawn. It will help us get through strongholds quicker and things like that. They mentioned that the Grandmaster 2 and 3 rewards don't, like the drop rate doesn't feel rewarding enough. However, they're not actually doing anything to it in this patch. They're still working on it. And they're not changing loot drops or anything like that. But they've said they're going to keep monitoring it, like keep going back for reviews, see how it's doing. And maybe there'll be some improvements in the future, but who knows. The main update, so the one that's the first part of the 90-day roadmap, isn't in this patch. This patch is just focusing on bug fixes and things like that. The first part of the roadmap is actually dropping at the end of March. Masterwork and legendary support gear, so for those of you that are at level 30, you're doing the end game grinding, you'll notice that you've never had a masterwork or legendary support gear drop, so your battle cry for Colossus, your bulwark point for Ranger, stuff like that. There is absolutely no plans to change that anytime soon. Masterwork and legendary support gear isn't going to be coming into the game yet. They said that a stat page is important, but again, there's no updates on when that's going to come out, but I think they are planning to release that one. You can now quick play strongholds when this patch drops. Apparently this was in the game like when it first released. I've never noticed it, but then they had to take it out for some reason, but now it's back in. So when you do a quick play mission, it's not just going to be a normal expedition contract or anything like that. You can also now quick play into strongholds. They've said that they've fixed a lot of bugs and they've made some quality of life improvements. They're trying to sort as many of those as they can, including a lot of the sound bugs. I've experienced a few of those. But one of the things they're mainly focusing on is I think there's been over 1,400 reports now of PlayStation 4 consoles actually powering down because of a bug in this game. Everyone's saying that it's like bricking consoles, and if you don't know how to go through a proper power cycle, apparently some consoles aren't turning back on, but if you power cycle it, it should work, and as of the 12th of March, or whenever they drop the update, that should be completely fixed. There is an alt bar bug at the minute. Your ultimate ability, when you go into a free play or some certain missions, you go in, it tells you have your ultimate ability available to use when it's not. Then eventually after time, when you've actually built the bar up, it then becomes available to use. They fixed that so it will correctly display the progress on your ultimate ability when you're in free plays and stuff. They're not 100% sure about this, like whether it's actually coming into the game as a fix. But the health bar bug, so sometimes you'll go into a mission with exactly the same build. One mission you'll have 6 or 7 bars of health. Another mission straight after, you're going to have like 20 or 25 bars. Those are just example, and it happens from if you go from a stronghold into a free play, you could do that stronghold with like 25 bars of health. You'll go into the free play, you'll have 80. They have said they don't think it affects your actual health stat at all. So whether it displays you have 20 or 100, your health is going to be exactly the same. they're pretty sure, but not 100%, that it's just a UI bug. So it's literally just the bar that's having difficulties displaying properly. This one's a little bit confusing to me. A lot of people have been moaning that GM2 and GM3, the melee abilities and your ultimate, don't really upscale, so you're doing the same damage all the way through GM1 to GM3. They've fixed that, so your melee and your ults will now be stronger in GM2 and GM3. And the bit I don't understand is they're upscaling Masterwork power levels from 45 to 61, and they're doing legendaries from, 47? Up to 65 or 67. Well, they said 65 or 67. Ben Irving wasn't actually sure what was going on with the numbers. And the bit I don't understand is they're doing that so our power level could possibly go up to like 630 something, or maybe even higher, like 650, 700. Although it doesn't actually have any difference. If you have, say, a 650 power level Javelin, for example, and you go into a GM3 Stronghold, you're not actually going to be any stronger than like 496 or whatever you was before the update. They've said it's purely just for scaling, to make it an easier job for them in the future if they want to actually increase the power level properly. A lot of people, well, I'm pretty sure everyone that uses the Ranger has had problems with the Bulwark point. It's far too weak, it doesn't take enough damage. When you're trying to res someone, the Bulwark point gets obliterated straight away in GM1 upwards. So what they've done is they've reduced the time. It only lasts for 20 seconds now, but it will absorb more damage, so you should have more time to get your friends back up. Some people were facing a problem when you had a storm in the game using Wind Wall, and you was a ranger behind that wind wall trying to use your ult. It wouldn't actually go through the wind wall for some reason. That has been fixed. Gunslingers Mark, I'm not entirely sure what that component is, but if I remember rightly, I've seen a lot of people complaining that there was a component that was doing far too much like damage, like its boost kind of got increased a lot more than it should have done, like the buff got increased. So what they did was they completely turned that off, and that's why it displayed 0%. It wasn't that it had no effect, it was that the component just was turned off, so it didn't work at all. They've now fixed that, it will display the correct numbers, it will work as it should, so Gunslingers Mark is being fixed. They mentioned that a lot of people are complaining about the Ranger being too weak. I find that myself as well. They are looking into buffing the Ranger to make him up to par with the other Javelins, but that's not coming in this patch. One thing I'm interested to see how this works is you can now prime Titans. So if you have the target beacon on your interceptor, if you throw that at the Titan, it should lower its resistances along with like acid effects, fire effects and things like that. Any debuffs you've got, any primers you're using, they should work on the Titans. They mentioned that some of the weapons have their base damage too low for Masterwork. There's also a problem with a level 1 assault rifle, I think it is, the Defender, being far too strong. But what they want to do with the Masterworks, they feel some of them are too weak, so what they're going to do is boost, like buff some of their base damage. It's not going to happen to all of the Masterworks, so don't get excited thinking that the Truth of Tarsus and the Herald are going to be absolutely incredible. It's just some of the guns they think are weak. And someone actually put in their Twitch chat to buff the Avenging Herald, and Ben Irving just straight up said no. Which is obvious, like the gun is stupid powerful. And the last thing in this video, just to wrap things up, people have said they would like the things in the store to switch quicker, so they said they're looking into it. That's not going to be a part of this patch, but it's just something that they mentioned and I wrote down in my notes. Because there could be emotes flying all over the place, like say they halve the time in the shop. I think it's currently 4 days until things switch. If that goes down to 2, we're going to be seeing more emotes and stuff in the game, which will be cool. But at the same time, there's going to be a lot of people skint with no coin at all. As you can see in the top left, I've got less than 18,000. I've bought the robot dance so far, and I've also got the heavy air guitar. But it would be cool to see all the new stuff they add into the store. Anyway, on that note, we are going to end the video. That's all the stuff I picked up from the developer livestream. Let me know your thoughts and stuff in the comments. Do you think there's a lot of good things happening to the game? Just in general, what are you thinking? I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching.